Hi, this is Mason, and you're watching the 315 with Brian Higgins. Now it's time to start the post-game show. Here's Brian.
3-0 for the Orange. Just a completely and utterly dominant second half today. 80-50. That's a clean numbers. Even 30-point win today. 3 games won by 38, 40, and 30 to start here. Year 3 of Red. Another, in theory, easy one against Monmouth on Tuesday, and then the schedule will ratchet up a week after that with the 3 out in Vegas. Welcome in, everybody, to the post-game show. The audio is off. It doesn't look off. Are we sure about that, Kyle? Are you messing with me? Because I'm showing myself talking. I see sound come. Am I, like, do you for real not hear me? Like, what am I looking at here? Like, I see that I'm sending audio. Is it not working? What's going on? Is it not work? Yeah, it's sound is weird. What? Hang on. Hang on. The sound is weird. You're telling me the sound is weird? Did I? Let's unweird the. Well, yeah. Why did that do that? It changed the microphone it's supposed to be in. That should have unweirded the sound. What? We're on a really weird run here the last few shows of why my program was just like, hey, let's talk into a different microphone. Let's pick the wrong microphone. Let's pick this microphone. We don't need that microphone. We need this microphone. Ridiculous. Just ridiculous. Should we just what are we even doing here? Should we start the show again for like the 8 millionth time? This is becoming a thing. This is now a thing where we start the show twice. Where we start the show twice because it bothers me when things go wrong. So here we go.
Hi, this is Mason, and you're watching the 315 with Brian Higgins. Now it's time to start the post-game show. Here's Brian.
Hey, look, now we're back and everything works. Unbelievable. The program. What's going on with you? Welcome in. Syracuse just absolutely smoked Drexel today, 80-50. Things were a little sketchy to start off. Kai and Anthony kept the Orange afloat early on. Syracuse absolutely just hammers Drexel in the second half. What was the numbers after halftime? Other than a lot to a little. What were the numbers? 43-18 in the second half, and it didn't even feel that close. Yeah, double the Mason, Oregon Q. So welcome in Jen, Paul, Rita, Tom K, who I saw had the same issues as I did with Peacock. We'll get to that. Peacock, what the hell? That was beyond obnoxious. Oregon Q's, whoever else is here. Paul's here. Jen's here. Kyle's here. We got a crew. The link, as you are aware, is pinned to the top of the chat. And what you can do with the link that is pinned to the top of the chat is this. You can go clickety-click, and then you can join the show and join us for a video call. So we're here. If you want to join in chat some Syracuse basketball, we'll hang out for the next hour. Unfortunately, no Red postgame press conference today, just not available with a road game like this. Technically a neutral site game, but the Orange just absolutely smoked Drexel today and moved to 3-0. I just looked this up, and we all know Syracuse basketball's been a little iffy here the last few years. Is that a nice way to put it? If and when Syracuse beats Monmouth on Tuesday, and let's not screw it up against freaking Monmouth on Tuesday, it would be the first time Syracuse is 4-0 in 8 years. Last time Syracuse has been 4-0, 2017, 2018. It used to be, now back when the schedule was, super easy, but, Syracuse is 8-0, 10-1, whatever, just every year. And then obviously things change with schedules and the college basketball world at large. So 4-0 if they win against Monmouth on Tuesday for the first time in 8 years. So we'll keep an eye on that on Tuesday night. But you'll take 3-0. That's not happened a lot recently around here today. Yeah, Dr. Doom. Peacock today. All right, who had this experience? I do not subscribe to Peacock. I like to watch Syracuse basketball games, of which every game after this for the rest of the season, for the majority, is either on the ESPN family of networks or our good friends at the CW. I'm just telling you right now, the BC football game is going to be on the CW. It's not been announced. We'll find that out likely tomorrow around noon, but my spidey senses are tingling. It's going to be at like 9:30 in the morning on the CW, available in select markets. And then the games next week out in Vegas, that the Players Era tournament has a contract with Turner. Those games look like they're going to be on TNT. And yeah, everyone's got TNT. It's part of every cable package known to man. So my last 2 weeks have been this. I am a YouTube TV person. So didn't have ESPN or ABC. Had to do some workarounds. Had to, do some hooks around the edges to watch all the games. But we made that through. We made it okay. So, yesterday, this morning, whenever I realized today's game's on Peacock, because I didn't do a lot of advanced planning on this, I Google Peacock free trial periods, because a lot of these, every time you hear ESPN's off your airways, you learn that Fubo and some stuff like that is a free trial period. So Peacock, I know, always used to have free trial periods. They don't anymore. But apparently Peacock and Prime, Amazon Prime, and we all have Amazon Prime. Like Peacock and Amazon Prime have a thing going now, where if you have Prime, you can get 7 free days of Peacock. And I say, well, this is fantastic. I have Prime. And so I go clickety-clack the buttons, and it was literally one button. I just go boop, and then I turned on my TV, and I had to use my phone, boop, because the remote has gone just AWOL. I don't know where that thing is. Somewhere the remote is, but Roku can do the remote on the phone. I don't enjoy doing that, but it's great in a pinch. 1:30-ish during the first game, that crap Penn State LaSalle game, go to the Prime app on the Roku, click it, and then say, oh, what's on live? Scroll down. I put that game on. I tweeted out a picture of it, like there's verification that I accomplished that, and then I think to myself, well, all right, self, this is fine. Everything's good. Check back in at 3:30, and I'd been tweeting back and forth with some people about this throughout the day. Felt like we'd be all good. Go back in. Nothing's there. Somebody that follows me on Twitter apparently went and called up the customer service line at Peacock and learned that apparently, or at Prime or something, they contacted somebody in customer service and found out this game would only be on Peacock and not Peacock on Prime, which in some universe is different. So I listened to Matt and Jim, is what we did. We listened to Matt Park and Jim Sandelin on the Varsity app, and we took in the game. So, go radio. But my goodness. And then it's one of these things, Jen, yeah, I love the Olympics, but I have not actually subscribed to Peacock for the Olympics because while there is so much stuff, there is still plenty of stuff on regular TV. Usually don't have the time to delve into other stuff. I mean, it's just a whole freaking thing. Thank goodness at least ESPN and ABC is back on my YouTube TV now. But it's just, the whole thing is just beyond annoying that I just try to watch the game. Peacock is probably like the only app that I'm not subscribing to or do not haven't acquired somebody else's login to at some point along the way. And it's a one-off thing. I know some of you shelled out $10.99 for one game. Good on you. I wasn't about to do that, especially not when I got to tip time and I thought we had taken care of the whole thing. Just a frustrating experience. Thankfully, not the Final Four or anything. But yeah. CW and TNT an issue for me now? Yeah, see, that's where I'm fine on both through YouTube TV. I got my $20 back with YouTube TV the other day. So, yeah. At last check anyway, CW and TNT are both still on YouTube TV. I suppose I should look again before that becomes an issue. So, all right, just getting that off the chest. Anybody else have those issues today? Hey, here's what's great. And I'll say this, and again, link pinned top of the chat if you'd like to join the show today. Here's what's great thus far this season about Syracuse basketball. That Peacock, Amazon, whatever the hell, that's my complaint. Not the basketball. Like, my basketball complaint is, it would have been nice if they rebounded a little better. Or, hopefully J.J. Starling can get healthy. Or, hopefully that wasn't too serious, whatever it was with Tyler Betsy. Besides that, Syracuse is winning by an average of more than 30 points a game because they've won every game thus far by more than 30 points. 30 on the nose here today. Like, the actual basketball complaints about Syracuse are few and far between. Kyan Anthony, yo. Like, hopefully when JJ comes back, this can all mesh in a nice way. Hopefully they complement each other well in the court, or you stagger minutes in such a way that you always have somebody that can get to the rim at various points. Kyan at 18, what do you have at halftime? Do we have this? Man, it's a different live stats today where I can't as easily sort first half or second half. Kyan was double figures at halftime, though. And Syracuse today was a little, and they have been at times, and they were a little sluggish getting going on offense. But Kyan hit a quick 7, then he hit a 3, he got to 10 pretty quickly. Like, Kyan got it going in the first half, and then everybody else ended up going along with him. Donnie and Nate George each had 13, and it spread out nicely around the rest of the rest. So they got to 80. And 12 in the first half, Oregon Cuse. Thank you. But they got to 80, and it wasn't, it didn't feel strange to get to 80. It felt rather comfortable and easy to get to 80. So you have Kyan that can do that. Obviously, we've seen games so far this season where Donnie's gotten it going early. Last year, all they had, and they had a ton of slow starts last year. My goodness. The only one they had is that if JJ didn't go pedal to the floor to get the offense going early, they had nothing. They had absolutely nothing early in the game. But now, all right, you got Donnie that can get it going early. You have Kyan that can get it going early, and we'll see when JJ comes back, hopefully on Tuesday. I would like to get some minutes on the legs of JJ before those Vegas games. But you have Kyan, Donnie, and potentially JJ that can all get it going early. And, man, it's really starting to round out. Yes, Cavendo. No, how about Noel Abdel getting into a game that's not in the Dome, then getting a steal, and then getting yelled at by Red because he shot one when the game was over late. Shout out to Noel Abdel. Perhaps the most important player on the roster for a lot of reasons. But just a great game. Yeah, Donnie's showing energy and passion. I just like this team. This team is passing the vibe test. And this team definitely has way more talent than we've seen around here in a while. And yeah, Vo from the 518, shout out to the 518, home country, that when the team had a slow start on offense, right, they're hustling their butts off. In the second half, the defense, there was a lot of late shot clock things for Drexel. They're hustling their butts off. This is a team that is more talented than we've seen in a while, and is more athletic than we've seen in a while. And after some of the things we've watched the last few years, Chris Bell, right in the throat. This team is playing its butts off regardless of if shots are going in. And I think that is the biggest thing right now. Like, we didn't know what Kyan Anthony's defensive efforts would be, but he's talking out there and he's hustling out there. And, Donnie Freeman, it was clearly all injury last year. He's talking out there. He's hustling out there. It's a really, really good sign right now. It's a really, really good sign, I think, for this team going forward that, all right, you have some naturally talented scorers in Kyan, Donnie, and when JJ comes back. You have athleticism, Sadiq White, William Kyle, et al., Soiree, and others. You have, it seems up and down the roster right now, a generally good attitude, effort, intensity. Whatever you want to call Orange Standard, whatever the hell their acronym is, DART, they feel kind of darty. Where's Fran? Like, they got all the stuff you want to actually see out of a good college basketball team. So, feeling good about it. Now, we are 9 days out from the degree of difficulty going. It's going to be going up a little bit. But whereas prior to the season, you're like, all right, Houston's going to be potentially impossible. Kansas, potentially the same. The third game, all right. Then you come home for Tennessee. Now you look at it, and Houston clearly is still going to be a very hard game. But you're like, all right, they're playing well. Kansas, it feels doable, at least today, right? Like, I'm not going to predict Syracuse to win scenario right now, but that feels like a game. And then whoever end up in the third game, you're like, okay. Then you're coming home for Tennessee. You're like, okay. So you feel like you don't feel overmatched now watching these guys, and that's the first time I think we felt that in a really, really long time. In a really, really long time. Yeah, Donnie didn't rebound it today. The William Kyle ends up getting 10. And how about Nate Kings? Now we'll find out. Is Nate going to stay starting when JJ gets back? Because man, it's getting harder and harder to put Kai in on the bench here going forward. But how about Nate Kings? He's not shot the ball well. He was 1 of 5 from 3 today. 7 points, missed both 3 throws. But Nate Kings, talk about effort, attitude, intensity, whatever. He had 9 rebounds. You like that? Kings and Kyle had 19 out of 36 rebounds. Those two had more than half of the rebounds today. And Syracuse, at least by the end of the game, closed the rebounding gap to only -3. So while Kings is not shooting well yet, he's lefty. While Kings is not shooting well yet, he's still playing hard. And we've seen that in the last few years with, it feels like the whole damn roster, right? Like when shots have not gone in the last few years, effort and intensity has, and way more dramatically with those teams the last couple of years. Like it's a normal thing, but it's happened way more dramatically with those teams than I'd say any Syracuse team that I can think of. This year, all right, shots not going in, those guys still playing hard, and it's fantastic to see. Fantastic to see. So I'm feeling good about it. Again, has it been the stiffest competition? No. But if this comes down to it, now you still want big wins. You've got the opportunities for big wins. But the Orange, if we're going to do net rankings and all that stuff, if we're going to get in that mode later on this season, 38-point win, 40-point win, 30-point win. Yeah, that's good. That's good down the line. Yeah, the tie break, the free throws. Cayenne at least made 3 of 4 today, but Kings missed both of his trips to the line. If he finds his stroke at some point, and I think he will, like he was a 44% three-point shooter last year. That's not fluky. And with the roster, it's not like teams are going to swarm him with Donnie and Cayenne and JJ and some of these other guys out there. Like he's going to get looks. You got to figure they start going at some point. Yeah, the Orange only had 6 turnovers, and 2 were late. They had 4 turnovers 5 minutes to go. Something like that. I guess they ended up technically with 7. But yeah, Cayenne had 4 in 20 minutes. But again, a larger ball handling responsibility put on him with JJ out and the whole thing. Look at the minutes today. You like that? Most minutes anyone played was Kings, go figure, with 33. Cayenne 28, Kyle 26, George 30, Donnie 28. Zephyr and Fennell combined for 24 minutes off the bench, so it's very easy to see where the minutes are going to go back to JJ when he's healthy, and you hope Tyler Betsy's healthy going forward. But Betsy, like you want Betsy, but he almost feels like a luxury item at this point in many ways. You're just feeling really good about life. Just feeling really good about life right now. All right, do we have a caller? It looks like we have a caller here. We can do that probably, unless things go horribly wrong. You never know when things are going to go horribly wrong around here, but we'll do our best to make our first caller of the day happen. As always, link pinned top of the chat if you would like to join with us today here on the postgame. Let's bring in our guy, Gavendo. What's up, Matty? How you doing?
Can you hear me?
I can hear you.
Awesome.
Loud and clear.
I was excited in the second half when our defensive intensity really took off.
Yeah.
I thought, and I was able to see practice the other day, so they practiced probably 75% defense the whole time.
Mm-hmm.
And I thought they were light in the first half, and I'm like, man, what the hell's going on? Second half, this is the kind of defense we're going to need next week or in 10 days when we face Houston and Kansas. We need that nonstop. And I think if we get a win out there, we clean up, I think we could be ranked soon. And that might be a shock to talk about so soon, but like also it's a possibility, right?
Yeah, I mean, if you go, I obviously it'll be dependent on, if you can pick off some games out there. Like if you can win 2 in Vegas, just by, say you lose, I don't know, hypothetically.
Lose to Houston.
Yeah, say you lose to Houston close, say you beat Kansas, and then say you beat whomever else is the third team. Will that get you ranked? Not necessarily, but that at least puts you on the radar. And then the Tennessee game after that, like you have a path to it.
That's the kicker.
Yeah, like these 3 games don't do anything towards that other than you haven't lost. But yeah, like people are going to watch those games, Matt. Like people will see you next week. And if you play this well, obviously games will be closer. But if you play this well, this will impress people.
Between Vegas and Tennessee, if we take out 3 of the 4, I think we're golden.
Yeah, I mean, that's, and nobody would have even been thinking that a couple of weeks ago, right?
No.
Of that being possible. Yeah, if you can somehow do that, I think you're ranked, or at least certainly ranked shortly after that. Which, Govendo, just the fact we're having the conversation, I think, is
Crazy,
a victory
right?
for this team,
It's
right?
crazy.
Like, it hasn't happened yet. It's possible they go out to Vegas and get smacked around. I don't think that's
You're
what's
almost
going
like
to happen.
second guessing yourself. Like, should I even be thinking like this?
Yeah.
You know?
But it's fun, and I think to your point, like the defensive intensity it's big for a lot of reasons, but the lack of defensive intensity has driven Red to the brink of insanity the last 2 years. Like,
Bro, they are nonstop 40 minutes of just defense.
Yeah, and he doesn't he's on them, but he's not over the top like losing his mind on them. They seem to be, at least in some ways, self-motivating to do it this year, which is way better than we got the last 2 years for sure, and longer than that realistically.
How about shout out to Noah real quick for the steal.
Yeah,
awesome job.
Didn't get a steal yet. He did get ripped by Red there a little bit late for getting that last 3 up, but it's hard to.
He should have got. I don't know why the other guy. The guy even played defense. He was like 7 foot in front of him, tried to swat it away from him.
Yeah. It's always fun. I feel bad he didn't get in any of the dome games. That would have popped the place. Not so much. I mean, the crowd did appreciate it in Philly, but hopefully there'll be a few more blowouts here, so we can get into one of the dome games before we get into ACC play before too long. And you'll be out in Vegas, you said, Matt. So you'll get to see those games.
Can't wait.
That's
so excited.
Man,
thanks for having me on, Brian.
All right, thanks, man. Always good to hear from our guy, Govendo. So there he goes.
Hi, this is Mason.
Caller right
And you're watching the
so
315 with Brian
the link
Higgins.
is pinned as always.
Now it's time to
top
start
of the
the
chat,
post-game
so if you
show.
would like to
Here's
join
Brian.
the show, you are more than welcome to do that, just like Matt did there. And now we can go to our guy Anthony here, who is next up. Anthony, what's up, man? Great to see you.
What's going on, Brian? How you doing?
I'm doing great. That was a fun one, huh?
Oh my gosh, that was a game. That was a game. Got a little bit scared at the beginning there.
Mm-hmm.
A little nervous. I mean, the thing about it, they Drexel, they were a little bit higher in Ken Palm. I think they were like 230 or something like that. So notably, they at the beginning of the game, they kept it pretty close. I think it was more or less because of the lack of rebounding at the beginning. They were out rebounding us by quite a bit. They
got worked on the rebounds there for a minute there at the beginning of the game. That's for sure.
Yeah, but hats off to Red, man. Red Archery. He noticed that. He made it. I think at the beginning, remember last game, they kind of pumped up the defense with the full court press. They didn't do that at the beginning of this game. Right. He came out with the full court press, and like I said, the full court press. Once you put that in, it just excites the players, and they start to play better on defense, and that's when they started getting those steals.
Yeah, I like that they're using it, as like a jolt of energy, Anthony, as opposed to just desperation because you need something. It just seems to get these guys in the right mindset when he's tossed it up.
Yeah, I mean, they were playing okay defense at the beginning, but once they put in that full court press, they just start that's when they get the steals, and then in the half court they start to get the steals. It just gets them pumped up, and once they started getting those steals, Autry also recognized that he needed to put Sadiq in. Mm-hmm. They had a perfect opportunity when they started to go on a run. Go ahead and put Sadiq in. Let's make this run. Let's get him up by like 10, 15 points.
Yeah, just I'm with you, Anthony. Like early in the game, you're like, oh, is this going to be closer than you'd like, or whatever? And then, man, they hang in, and then just blow it wide open after halftime. Was really, really good to see. All right, Anthony, thanks for the call as always. Appreciate you.
Hey, before we leave, I'm already picking us to beat Houston. If we hit 5 threes And with our defense, similar to Houston, if we make at least 5 threes, we're going to beat Houston.
Okay, Anthony calling the shot. We like to hear it. We like to hear it. Five doesn't sound like a lot, but against Houston, everything is a little tougher to come by. That's going to be a fascinating game coming up in 9 days' time. All right, Anthony, thanks so much for the call. Yeah, let's hit the button that does not play the open to the show again. Bart Torvik, he's friends, he's brothers with Lisa Torvik. It's another one of these rankings. He's a different version of Ken Pom, kind of. Torvik, Ken Pom, it's an analytical website that ranks things. Bart and I, we're boys. Bart Torvik is a real person, I think, right? Like, that's actually the guy's name. Yeah, Bart and Ken, there's going to be some kind of back alley brawl between Bart Torvik and Ken Pomeroy before the end of time. And then there's, who's that other guy? Me something. Evan Mayakawa. Is that his name? Evan. That's who I was trying to think of. Everyone's got analytics. Everyone's analyticking. And it's funny how, like, the analytics, and then you play well, and they're like, oh, they're great. And they just retroactively prove any point. But yeah. Bart Torvik, watch out for him and Ken Pom and Evan Miyakawa. They're gonna rumble. I'm pretty sure the guy's name is actually Bart Torvik. Like, I think that's actually a guy. I feel I tried to get in touch with him at one point. I don't know if I've ever been successful in finding Bart Torvik. Bart Torvik's contact information that he was willing to respond to. I will have to loop back on that. And did Jordan ever book Bart Torvik for somebody? We'll look into it. We'll look into it. Yeah. Bart Torvik, he's got like a mainframe, and he's just tight. He's programming away, and he's like, oh shit, Syracuse by 30, and it's just beep boop boop, and all these things are going tonight. All these things are going. Crazy rainstorms in San Diego. There's a light drizzle in San Diego tonight, and everyone is terrified. Yeah, Bart Torvik is a man of mystery, a true man of mystery. Or not. I have no idea, Ellie Orange. I have not tried to unravel the mystery. But maybe when we get deeper into basketball season, if Syracuse continues to be in a place where that could be. It would be great if, like, Ken Pomeroy is a real person for Ken Pom. It would be great if Bart Torvik is just a made-up name, if, like, Ken made it up and he created his own competitor just to... you shush up the interest. It rained here today. We can show you that on the Wild Birds Unlimited Backyard Bird Cam at some point. But that is not really newsworthy that it rained in Syracuse in November. Less newsworthy. Bart is from Madison, Wisconsin. Okay. All right. That sounds like a real person. The Bart is that's public transportation somewhere. San Francisco? Where's the BART? I want to say San Francisco. That is definitely public transportation somewhere. That is different. That is different than any of the stuff we're talking about. All right, link pin top of the chat if you'd like to join the post-game show. We've heard from Gavendo. We've heard from our guy Anthony. Anthony's called in a couple times. He's got some sharp basketball takes there, and he's called the shot with Syracuse beating Houston. That game is 9 days from now, 6 o'clock, 3 o'clock Pacific, out in Vegas, in a game that will be televised on TNT, which should be easier for most of us to watch than a game one-off randomly on Peacock. Nice day in Sunset Beach, North Carolina. I would imagine in a place called Sunset Beach, North Carolina, Tim, that there's more nice days than not, right? Like if you're at, San Fran, okay. I know my public transportation. Bay Area Rapid Transportation. All right. Look at you. Pat has not been calling yet, LA Orange. I think I'm going to have to reach out to Pat. Like, I'm reasonably certain Pat's aware of what we got going on here. I have exchanged messages with Pat in the past, in the DMs about other things. Like, Pat, I'm pretty sure Pat's aware of what's going on. At least I'd like to think he is. I know he follows me on all the social medias and whatnot, but I may have to just, directly mainline Pat because, that always That always and Pat's not afraid. Like Pat's not a one post game show man. He'll somebody told me Pat called the former post game show that I worked on for the first time last game. Did he? All right. So Pat's alive and well. Wellness check for Pat. I may have to remind him, where his true loyalties lie here, and to work on that going forward. But yeah, we'll do that. You get snow in Sunset Beach. All right. It is North Carolina. Oh my God, Tim. First year, yeah. Pat will go on every post. He'll do the rounds of the post game show. The first year Syracuse was in the ACC, so this would have been March 2014, down at the women's basketball ACC tournament in Greensboro, North Carolina. Yeah, but Pat also then gets in the chat, so we know that he has it. Cuse Vegas. Down in Greensboro, North Carolina. This would have been March of 2014. Syracuse women were the 5 seed in that tournament, I believe. They were getting ready to play NC State. It was going to be a school day game, 11 a.m. tip, screaming crazy kids. But they get an ice storm, like a freak ice storm in the area. See, what they don't have down there, as I'm sure you know in Sunset Beach, salt or plows or common sense on the roads. It was like the apocalypse had occurred. We had another guy. We had the tiniest rental car that ever existed. I think it was a Chevy lace-up shoe is what we had. There was a power outage on the road on the way to the arena. Blinking red lights and all that. Which mean 4-way stop. These drivers that don't know what ice is took it as 4-way go. People are just careening into the ditches on the way there. It was crazy. What's up, Kev? Welcome in. We made it there. There was 3 power outages at the arena during the game. It was bonkers. It was bonkers. Great time was had by all. Syracuse blew a huge lead and gave up a huge run in the second half and lost, and then we all went home. Back to the game. Free beers, yes. This team actually gives a crap about defense, and yeah, it's good. They guard people and they stop people, and we like it. They guard people, they stop people, and we like it. Yeah, they got out rebounded. They got out rebounded. They actually were a decent-ish rebounding team last year, all things considered. They just couldn't do anything else. 2 years ago, they got just destroyed on the glass. With Lampkin last year, I think they were okay-ish on the glass. Oh yes, and Kevin. What do I think of Jameis? Jameis is why I opted for the Giants hoodie today. Because, shout out to the Jameis Winston experience. Just brightening all our lives tomorrow when the Giants head to Lambeau Field to take on the Packers. Oh, I think they're going. Is the game in Lambeau? I don't know where the game is. Jameis is involved. Who cares where the game is? Put it on Mars. I'd rather Jackson Dart be mentally with it. But Dayball's gone. Russell Wilson's not playing. Jameis is going to single-handedly save the mood of Giants Nation. I love it. Yeah, so I'm rocking my Giants today specifically for Jameis. I've been watching my Instagram algorithm has been taken over by Jameis for the last 2 days. It's because I keep sending it and receiving it. The amount of Jameis just wackiness I've watched in the last 2 days is amazing. Yeah, the Hamilton KC fan was fantastic. And I think the best part was not the singing of Hamilton. When he followed it up was like, for those that don't know, that's Hamilton. Then he was like, 10th year anniversary, get your tickets. Original cast. Jameis is a trip. Jameis is fantastic. Oh man, he's so good. He is the light in the life of the 2-8 New York Football Giants. You only figured it out today, Free Beers. Where have you been? Where have you been, Free Beers? Yeah, they figured it out, and by they, the people that make decisions on those things, they figured that out 4 months ago and just went, you can stop coming to work. Yeah. You got to, but I'm glad you found us here, Free Beers. Thank you for finding us, and now you know the right place to be and the right place to hang out, and we still enjoy your screen name, because who doesn't like free beers? Yeah, who doesn't like free beers? So we like that. We like that you found us. Spread the word. Tell the people. Am I coming to Vegas? No, Q's Vegas. I will be approximately right here. I will be in this general vicinity. The first game, the Syracuse-Houston game, we could have a very interesting post-game show because that game is scheduled to tip off at and keep it up, Jen, and do let the people over there know what they're missing out on. That you can, you can do that. I'm not saying to stop watching those shows, but you can, direct them elsewhere for the other things. They let go of my guy Big Smoothie the other day of K-Rock. He got the zig on Thursday, so they're just chopping. They're just saving as little money as possible with the moves they're making. But that's what's been going on over there. Shout out to my guy Big Smoothie, who is a large man and he is aware of it. What was I saying? I've distracted myself. But yes, free beers. Glad you found us. Like, subscribe, the whole thing. We're here. We're here. We're hanging. We're working. We're working on all that stuff. We're working on all that stuff. Meetings and stuff to maybe get some more sponsors than just our good friends at Wild Birds Unlimited right there. So, yes. And again, link pinned top of the chat if you'd like to join the show. What was I saying? Got off on a tangent. I don't even know what I was saying anymore. Oh, yes. Post-game show for Houston. Now, normal stuff this week. We got Fran Presser Monday at 1. We've got the 9 o'clock tip. Are you kidding me? For Monmouth on Tuesdays. We'll be with you late night. Late night on Tuesday. Jordan and I will do our thing on Wednesday. And then Saturday, we'll have post-game for Syracuse Notre Dame football. Notre Dame did some horrible things to Pittsburgh earlier today. So that's live coming up this week. But Houston post-game show, which is a week from Monday, that game tips off at 6 o'clock in Vegas. Now, I haven't really looked at the whole schedule of games. I don't know if it's likely to be pushed back because of other games or not. I would actually welcome it for a lot of reasons. Any truth to that rumor, Ryan? At noon? Yeah, that would be a bold play. Just getting it right in there at noon. That I am coaching first and second grade basketball on Mondays, and it starts at 6:20. So we're gonna be in like that. It's practice. It'll be practice 3. We got a lot going on. So my knowledge of the Houston game, it could be a little aggressive. It could be a little aggressive. So we'll have to see how that one goes. I'm going to need you guys to help me along with that one. Thank you, Truth Hurts. Yeah, hang out in the chat. Hang out in the chat. Well, Paulie does many other things at work there. Yeah, he runs like 4 radio stations. So there are reasons for everything, Tim. Not good ones, but there are reasons for everything. How's the whistle game? Now we gave some good whistle on Monday, Ryan. I feel we did some good whistle work. The kids listened. Like when we gave the whistle, they'd gather up, they'd look, they'd rotate, they'd go on a water break. So we feel good about our whistle work. What's hilarious is that I'm scraping 6 foot. I'm 5'11". I thankfully, since there are 13 first and second graders on this team, I've got 2 assistant coaches, and pardon me, we like the fact that I have 2 assistant coaches. The average height of my assistant coaches is like 6'5", 6'6". We are scraping the ceiling on our assistant coaches, so we got great height at the assistant spot. Great height at the assistant spot. No, I haven't caught Paulie snooping on the bird cam. Jordan keeps threatening to show up on the bird cam just live, like on the Wednesday night show, which would be disturbing because he'd just be in the dark in the backyard. So we'll see. Speaking of that, again, link pinned top of the chat if you would like to join the show. Still time for that as we roll along. But Wild Birds Unlimited Backyard Bird Cam. This is what happens. It's 6:16 at night. It's pitch black in the backyard. I can see a light bulb or 2 beaming from my deck. There are no birds there. The rain has cleared off the lens here in the last in the last 20 minutes, so that's nice. But it was a wet one here in the afternoon. But let's name our Wild Birds Unlimited Backyard Bird Cam Big Air Player of the Game today. Is there any way we're going with anybody other than Cayenne? 18 points for Cayenne. Yeah, 18 points for Cayenne. I don't think, unless anyone has other thoughts, I don't know if we can go elsewhere for today's Wild Birds Unlimited Big Air Player of the Game. Cayenne was great offensively early, and the Orange were sluggish offensively early, and Cayenne kept them afloat. Drexel had a lead, not a big lead, but they had a little lead. And the Orange, we've been through it the last few years. Man, we've been through the grind here. We see Syracuse get down. You're like, they're about to be down by 20. And then Cayenne's like, no. Cayenne, 12 points in the first half. Second half, defense for everybody kicked up. Offense for others got going. But Cayenne Anthony, here we are. He is, I think, for the first time. What we did Nate George and Donnie Freeman. Has Cayenne been it yet? Cayenne is everywhere. Cayenne Anthony, perhaps more prestigious than anything he's done in his life, though, is today's Wild Birds Unlimited Big Air Player of the Game. William Kyle was awesome today too. Oregon Q's 8 points, 10 rebounds. He hit the glass when necessary. Donnie was okay, not a great Donnie game, but yeah, Cayenne, and it brings us back to the debate we keep having. Is if and when JJ's back, not if, when JJ's back, who's potentially could have gone today and did not. But when JJ's back, like JJ's going to start. Will he be immediately back into the starting lineup? Do they ease him back in? I don't know. JJ's going to start. The question going forward is, okay, do you keep Cayenne in the starting lineup? And I know Nate Kings has been struggling shooting coming off the bench. Or do you move Cayenne off the bench, and then you can stagger minutes a little bit? Or do you just come out the gate and be like, yeah, here's JJ, Donnie, Cayenne, and just let's go. Let's go. I could argue it either way. But Cayenne Anthony, today's Wild Birds Unlimited Big Air Player of the Game. Yeah, there was a lot of fading away today from Donnie. I'd say in the first couple of games, he was doing what you said, Vo. He was right in there at the rim. Yeah, like Cayenne's probably going to go back to the bench, but my goodness, he's playing so well. So well. So we'll see where it goes. I don't think it necessarily really matters a lot. Like, Cayenne's good. Cayenne's really good. Pizza, chicken wings, and subs or deli sandwich? Are you asking us to decide, Tim, or do you have all of those available to you? I made pizza last night. We got that going. It was good pizza. Yeah, Cayenne. I think I said this yesterday in No Wrong Answers. I was on the Players Era Invitational website yesterday because I wanted to look up something. I was looking up the schedule. There's so many games. I wanted to look up what was going on. And there's like a banner picture on the front. And there's like Bill Self, and there's Kelvin Sampson, and I think Mark Few, and there's some players from some other teams that I didn't quite know who they were. And there's 8 million teams on this thing. There's not a picture. They didn't guarantee you. If you're in the tournament, you didn't get a picture. Not everyone got a picture. Cayenne Anthony's on there. The star power of this dude, because of dad, because of mom, because of the whole thing, is huge. But because of dad, because of mom, Cayenne has lived in this and lived it so much. He is, he's so beyond comfortable in the scene, in the moment, that it's fantastic. It's fantastic. And he's handling it so well. And I forget it was Matt or Jim or listening to the radio broadcast today, Park and Saddlein mentioned this. Like, Melo was at the game today. And he's been at, 2 of the games so far, and he was at an exhibition game. But Melo's sitting courtside. The game's at the Sixers arena. He's sitting next to VJ Edgecombe, who was the Sixers lottery pick this year and was Cayenne's high school teammate. So everyone knows everybody. But Melo's sitting there and like he's into the game and he's cheering, but he's not overbearing. He's not yelling at the refs for calls for his son when there's, potential calls that go his way. I'd say shout out to Melo because like he's in a weird spot, right? As dad of this kid, but he is so famous in the area. But Melo, I think, has done and said all of the right things so far as Cayenne does this. Helps that Cayenne's playing great, but man, really, really good to see how that's going so far. Really, really good to see how that's going so far. Yeah, Tim, like I could make that argument too. Like you might want to bring in scoring punch off the bench, and Cayenne would be that guy. That said, they're going to sub so much that let's say Cayenne doesn't start. Like he's going to be in the game by 5 minutes in basically every game, regardless. Oh yeah, I had a run-in once with Melo's security. I've told that story before. He had some like security, very large security. It was what game was it? It was one of the MetLife football games. I think it was the Notre Dame game where there was like 30 some odd points scored in the first quarter and it was just bananas. It was when Ryan Nassib was still on the Giants, Justin Pugh was on the Giants, and whatever. So there's a bunch of guys down there I knew, and Melo was there, just like, oh, it's Carmelo Anthony. And he's standing there on the sideline, and this is like 2013, 14? So yeah, 2013, I guess. So 12 years ago. So I think Cayenne was there, but he would have been like 6. I don't think there is today, MD. Unfortunately, road games, that is not a thing that generally happens. I checked to see if it would be anywhere, and I did not find it. Unfortunately, anywhere as an available option. So no, and I'm sure it has happened already by this point. But no, we will have it for all home games, perhaps select road games when and if available. But yeah. But Melo's there. I'm like, well, let's see if I can get an interview with Melo. And this pleasant gentleman, like large and in charge dude, just sidled in front of me and was like, Melo's just enjoying the game today with his boys. I'm like, oh, okay. Largest human of all time. I'll go talk to Ryan Nassib. Thank you for that. He was quite pleasant about it, but that was it was aggressively pleasant security, which I appreciated. I appreciated his pleasant tact. He wasn't mean about it. But then he had his eyes on me later because I'm still down there, as I'm supposed to be. And, Pew's there, and, like, I think, could that have been that? Like, I think Keith Bullock was around for some reason, or who was it? It was Jameel McClain was on the Giants. Then tail end of his career, Jameel McClain. So I know all these guys, trying to get him on the air, and, like, this guy's, he's going to go back for Melo. I'm like, no, I actually know these other people. Leave me alone. Giant Melo security, man. I will talk to these other people. Major adjustments first to second half? I don't think it was major adjustments, Tim. I think they just locked in on defense after halftime. They were a little wishy-washy in the first half. I don't think it was a major adjustment. They locked in and they went for it. And they played really, really hard on defense. I don't think it was, like, tactical. Yeah, Vo, I think it was just not that they were bad on defense in the first half, but they really, really kicked it up in the second half. They only allowed 18 points after halftime. So it wasn't like it was some sort of tactical mastermind masterpiece. No, they just played really good. Yeah, they were better than them. And it was another thing, listening to the radio broadcast, Matt asked Jim Saddle in this, what is better about defense this year to last year? And Sats just kind of chuckled. It was like, the players are better and they're playing harder. You have better players that are playing harder. Yeah, I agree. Like, the defensive intensity broke Drexel at some point in the second half. You have better, more athletic basketball players that are playing harder. Sometimes sports can be a pretty simple thing, right? When you have better athletes that are playing harder, that's what happened. Well, MD, I don't know if you were here when I went on my rant earlier. I could not get the Peacock situation going today without dropping an extra $10.99, and I decided to keep my $11. So we listened to the radio broadcast, even though I had a free Peacock on Prime thing with my Prime for a week, but they didn't put it on Peacock on Prime, even though they put the first game on the Prime. But I couldn't watch the freaking game, so we listened on the radio today. Yes, defense, and I think these guys are. I think these guys are properly motivating each other. Is that the right way to say it? Like last year, the last 2 years, I mean, Red was bursting blood vessels in his brain just trying to get the guys to play hard. Like, yes, Q's Vegas, it will, but it's also on NBC. Like, it's an NBC game. I think they put them all on Peacock, but the game's on NBC on Saturday. So, like, the actual NBC with the chimes and the whole thing. So we're good there. But it's guys, they're motivating each other. Like, they're talking. They're communicating. Is there still room to grow? Are they a great defensive team? We'll see against some of these other teams later, but it's finally looking like what it's supposed to look like. They talk to each other on the court. They're playing hard for Lala. But like Cayenne, like, do we think Cayenne was going to be a great defensive player? No. And yeah, but he's playing hard. Yeah, I know it's listed. I think all the games end up on, I think all NBC stuff, Tim, ends up on Peacock. But the game, to my understanding, is on NBC next Saturday. So, no, we don't have to worry about silly Peacock nonsense. You can, like that, it'll be flying overhead. Yeah, the game's on NBC. So we're all good. Yeah, there you go, Tim. You got the chimes. Shout out to Mello. But this team, even without actually watching the game today, I can say this team is a joy to watch. Like, this team has been very pleasurable to actually watch play basketball. I wrote this in one of my Syracuse on SI Juice Online columns a couple weeks ago, where, like, we all watched the games last year. We didn't stop watching the games last year. But last year, well, it was a chore. Last year was a hate watch. Last year was not fun to watch Syracuse basketball games, essentially at any point at all. Like, did anybody have any fun watching Syracuse basketball games last year? No. We all did it. We were all here. We hung out in the chat. We did the postgame show. Like, we did it out of obligation. We did not do it out of joy. This year is fun. It is fun again. And where last year, like, it was so weird last year. Like, we knew Syracuse was in this players era thing. And, like, last year when you're looking at it, you're like, oh, my God, can they like, get out of it? Like, they're going to be the worst team there. Now it's like, all right. Now they're back in the mix. And now, even though they're playing potentially the number one team in the country in 9 days, and while that still is going to be really, really hard, you're like, hey, let's go have a shot. Let's see what it looks like. You can at least look forward to the games now, which is such a joyous difference from what we had last year. I mean, even 2 years ago was not necessarily fun. Like, Judah, like, it was okay. Last year was just a trial by misery. But this year it's fun again. And I get the opponents haven't been whatever, but it's fun. Still time for another call if you'd like. Yes. Unfortunately, Tim, that will be what's coming to your local NBC affiliate next week. That game, that game is going to be watched out of obligation. What was the final score of Pittsburgh and Notre Dame today? Pitt was down. Pitt ends up hosting game day for Notre Dame and then just got worked. Well, it's the final. 37-15, and it really wasn't even that close. It was 21-3 at halftime. That was what did Jeremiah Love run for? Jeremiah Love ran for 147 and, like, was having his jersey ripped off at one point and, like, dragged a tackler by his jersey for like 5 yards. Do you take your G-men to cover tomorrow? What's the spread, Kev? What's the Giants spread? I mean, you got the Jameis factor. The spread is 7. I mean, Jameis is going to throw touchdowns and interceptions. That's what he does. Man, Notre Dame, is going to have to really screw it up to miss the playoffs now. They're 8-2. They got Syracuse and Stanford left. There's no good reason to lose a game. Yeah, Notre Dame looking good to once again make the college football playoffs. It's one of them new ones, Tim. Oh yeah, Jameis. Here's what I currently got cooking, MD. I am in a weekly, or I'm in this daily fantasy league where it's daily fantasy, but I play with the same group of people every week. So you play with the same people. It's fun. Right now, hopefully none of them are listening. Hopefully they're all listening, but they think I'm crazy. I have not finalized what I'm doing yet, but I'm currently pondering starting Jameis, Josh Jacobs for the Packers because the Giants' run defense is beyond horrid. Ray McLeod, since all the Giants receivers are hurt and he's cheap, and the Packers defense because Jameis will score for both teams. It's a crazy roster build, but I'm currently legitimately pondering starting Jameis and the defense he's playing against because he will score touchdowns for both teams. It's fantastic. It's fantastic. Yeah, enjoy it, MD. Jameis is fun. I will say this. The Giants have been, talking about a hate watch, the Giants have been miserable to watch for a decade, but when they signed, I said this back in March when they signed Jameis, I was happy. Then they signed Russell. I'm like, yeah. But, man, where is the game? Is the game in MetLife or is it in Lambeau? I don't even know where the game is. Game's in MetLife. All right. Is it actually going to be on my television tomorrow? Or am I somehow going to get screwed by the Bills? Oh, good. I'm not going to get screwed by the Bills. What good news. Bills on CBS, Giants on Fox. Life is potentially good. Might actually get to watch it. Yeah, we're going after it, free beers. We try to take them out online. No, truth hurts, but we will take them as a sponsor. We'll take. I wouldn't mind slinging some. We'll sling it, but no, I don't connoisseur. I align more with the screen name above you, free beers. Yeah. You got a new Giants fan? There we go. Go Jameis. Go Jameis. Yeah, Jameis don't care. Jameis is gonna sling it. Who knows what's gonna happen with it, but Jameis is just he's gonna sling it and he's gonna have a fantastic time. The Giants are 2-8, and that's all I can ask. Jameis is gonna sling it to someone. I don't know who. Slayton, I think, is out. He'd be the guy that makes most sense. Ray McLeod. Yeah, it's happening, Super Cat. It's happening. Oh man, I love the Jameis. I'm probably gonna sign off here and I'll get into some more Jameis Instagram later tonight. They'll just be Jameis. He's everywhere. It's fantastic. Jameis is fantastic. Jameis brings smiles to people's faces, and what more do we need than that right now? Jameis, yeah. Jameis is just like, hey, boom, and sometimes it works and sometimes it doesn't. Most of his passes get caught. Sometimes they get caught by the other team, but most of his passes get caught by someone. Yeah, he'll throw it. Yeah, he'll throw a pick six tomorrow. That's what Jameis does. Jameis had a 30 touchdown, 30 interception season. Jameis had that crazy snow game with Cleveland last year. He was throwing it to everybody on both teams. It was great. It was absolutely fantastic. We love it. We love it. We love Jameis. All right, we've been cooking for about an hour here. 30-point win for the Orange. Thanks everybody for hanging. Again, live broadcast schedule this week. We've got the Fran Presser live reaction. That's 1:00 on Monday. Just 2 of those left this year. We got postgame for Cuse and Monmouth on Tuesday. We're going to be up late. That's going to be about 11-ish on Tuesday. We'd like for you to join live, or you can watch it back on Wednesday morning. Jordan and I will be going Wednesday night at 8 with our TPS report. And then Saturday we'll have postgame for Syracuse and Notre Dame. Plenty of other stuff, of course, on all of the social medias throughout the week. All right, everybody. We'll cut you loose. Meeting adjourned. I shook the camera a little bit. Have a great Saturday night. Enjoy your Sunday. We'll talk again on Monday when we see a little Fran Brown. Have a good night, everybody.
Thanks for watching the 315 with Brian Higgins. Don't forget to like, subscribe, and turn your notifications on. We'll see you next time.